Yes, that's Sumaya. Thank you for coming. We have Owen Ubi. Yes, thank you. And we have Usman Shamaki. Thank you for joining us today. Especially, we would like to thank Alaji Usman, who's Farida's husband, for being here and being supportive and helping our dear sister and friend achieving her goals. We are very proud of you. I'm sure most of us here, we know you personally. Introduction, for those people that might not know you, just a brief background about yourself.
Thank you, Mercy. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. So before I continue, while Mercy was talking, I said that my big brother just gave me a little Brian. Excuse me. Thank you so much. I feel very much connected to the community, and I feel like we have a responsibility to build our community. So I'm a social entrepreneur and an active citizen because I truly believe that the role of a citizen should not just be someone that is a bystander, but someone that actually actively engages the government and whoever it is that we put in charge of building our nation. So that is who I am, and of course I am the current CEO of Hugo Naturals. Hugo Naturals is one of our most foremost natural hair salons and hair care solution brands. So we do the salon and also have our own line of products that we locally source materials, and we also produce 80% by hand. So yeah, that's Hugo Naturals.
Thank you very much for that. So I'll just be going through program, just a brief program before we get into book reading, and that's why everybody has a copy of the book, yeah, so that we can follow through as Farida reads the passage. So after the book reading, we'll have a Q&A with the author. I'll ask her a couple of questions from the book, and we'll take about 5 questions from the audience. Don't forget to support Farida in this book launch. So yeah, I'll be handing the mic back to her. She will just quickly introduce the book, then tell us where she's going to be reading from so that we can follow as well.
In order to avoid the rush, I was given a relaxer box kit and 500 naira to go to the corner shop of the JS area of the university staff quarters. It was a walking distance from the house, and as I strolled down to the shop, only one emotion was strong enough to stand out in my memory. I wasn't sure what that emotion was until I looked back at the start of my natural hair journey in June 2009. It was anxiety. I was not necessarily in panic mode, but I was also not looking forward to getting my hair burned one more time. This was literal, as I always had multiple scalp burns in a bid to get the hair more done. And just like clockwork, after waiting an extra 35 minutes, the hairdresser would always wash it off in frustration, while lamenting about how my hair was too strong to be fully subdued by the relaxer. This is why for me, going natural was the perfect option. There was a sense of breaking free and coming into your own unique self that came with going natural. It was a choice, my choice. That was all that mattered. I was very sure that it was a deeply personal decision that the world would not understand. And in my mind at the time, I was ready to keep this secret and take it to my grave. I was ready to fight anyone who would dare take away that choice from me. It was my God-given right, and no matter what the society said or thought about women who push back against relaxers, I was going to be a living, breathing testimony of the fact that black women love their hair, and we were not going to be subdued and boxed in by other people's definition of beauty. I was a woman coming into her own, and when I looked into the mirror, my confidence and strength were gleaming across the mirror and bursting out into multiple colors.
Thank you, Farida, for that. After reading this book, I came up with a couple of questions that I think everybody would like to know. And I'll try my best not to spoil the book for those that haven't read it yet. So, currently, not just currently, like over the past 5 years, there has been a whole lot of rave about natural hair, people going back to their natural hair, trying to grow it and whatnot. And many things are being said about natural hair. So, at what point do you think, like your story is one that every girl needs to see? Because you see a lot of people say, oh, go back to your natural hair, natural color, follow the motherland and whatnot. And there's a whole movement around it, even tied to the civil rights movement. And you mentioned that in your book as well. So at what point do you think, okay, do you know what, it's time for me to also share my story to the world?
Okay, so I think that's why this passage is like really apt because, like I said, I did not even know there was a movement going on, but then also it was very personal to me. It felt like my story, right? But then realizing that I should share my story came because I realized that stories are very powerful, they're very transformative, and even though they might be the same, they also are very unique in their own way. So by the time I started writing this book, going through the entire process of what I was going through, and then writing my notes and coming into writing the book, I had that moment where I was like, everybody has written a book. What are you even writing? You start to doubt yourself. You start to say, what do I even have to say that the world doesn't agree with? But I felt that by sharing my story, I wasn't just also sort of like reaffirming, I was also giving other people a validation to know that their story matters. I think that was what it was for me. There's so many people out there, but then at the same time, there are people just like me that sort of like in the corner of their home and thinking, nobody needs to hear this. So I felt it was necessary. It doesn't matter how many of those stories we have, the more we have it, the more people feel like they can actually tell their own story as well. So for me, it was supposed to be like something that would create a ripple effect. So that was why I felt I wanted to tell the story.
At some point in the book, you talk about you going to learn about hair and then finding out the kind of hair you have. So for people like me, I was just telling her that the only thing I rub on my hair is soulmate, and I've been rubbing soulmate since I can't remember, since I was a very little child. So I don't know, how do you get people to know what their hair type is? Because I'm very sure that even in natural hair, we don't all have the same texture. Then what products to use and all that, because I don't know if one product can work for everybody. So I don't know if you have an advice towards that.
Okay, so I think the one advice I would give people is take the time to build a relationship with your hair. I think for me that cuts across any type of hair type you have. Like you pointed out, the different hair types. Most black people have type 4 hair, which is like a very really kinky type of hair. And then under type 4, you have 4A, 4B, 4C, right? Those are the ones we actually find around here. And then there are people that we sort of call mix that are black but in between, So they usually have like type 3 hair. And then you find that also there are some black people, because even in the salon I've seen cases where you see some people have a mix of like 3C and like 4C hair. But I think what is paramount is build a relationship with your hair, get to know your hair, and actually just know your hair. I feel like as black girls, we've been raised not to know our hair enough, beautifully enough. And so we really need to go back to actually taking the time to appreciate what we have and not always wanting to get what another person has. So it doesn't always have to be like something you do on your own. That is why there's so many natural hair salons. This is not a new natural salon by you. You can go to. But all I'm saying is get a partner that would actually be invested in the growth of your hair. So it's not just about getting money from you, it's also about seeing that you get to the point where you love your hair and I guess to try it.
Second part of my question, product-wise, do you think every product, like once it's in natural hair, because most of us hear about Cantu and all those kind of products, do you think it is applicable to all natural hairs, or you have to find
so the thing about hair care, it's just as complex as skincare, right? Your hair sometimes is in stages, right? Hormones have a very big role to play when it comes to hair care. So your hair could be acting a certain way at a particular point in time, right? So products, you don't use one But you shouldn't also just jump on the bandwagon of it's working for, even if it's your twin sister, it will be working for her and marry her. And that's why I said what is paramount is learn to build a relationship with your hair, listen to your hair, and over time you will know what works and what doesn't work. I mean, I have clients that give them all the hand to you, it will not work, just water and shea or something fine. I don't use shea water, I cannot use it. If I use shea water on my hair, I'm just going to break out, like my hair is just going to look white, right? So again, it comes back to learning about your own hair and being interested in knowing what works and what doesn't work. So don't rush to just buy the most expensive product or just because it's working for your sister. And I find people get really frustrated. I think I don't want to put you on the spot, but we had this conversation like 2 weeks ago, and of course when you come to Kelly, she might want to share. So it's very important that you take the time to love your hair and not get frustrated by what other people have. Just be unique. You're unique self and be happy with it.
I think my voice is loud enough. I don't know. Can you hear me at the back? Okay. So do you think it was harder to break into this industry because you cover your hair? Because there's a whole myth about people covering their hair. Obviously, you don't show your hair. So what's the meaning of taking care of this hair? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very interesting you point that out because this is just like a quick story that I want to share, right? I was a guest on a radio show, and the lady, of course, just told her that somebody from Human Naturals was coming, so she didn't know what to expect, right? And so it's radio, so people can't see. So when she was asking me questions, like a follow-up question was, you that you're covering your hair, there's a way she put it, like, I'm covering my hair, how can I give people advice on hair care? And I was sort of like taken aback, and then I was like, I was like, okay, well, hey, I can't just like, saying what is actually exactly. So I just said, yeah, there's that, but at the same time, I think I also know because I'm actually taking the time to study, and I feel like covering my hair has something to do with your advice and all of that. And when I was done, I had no idea because you know when you're going on radio or TV, you actually tweet about it, right? So because people knew that I was going to be on the show, they actually following it. And then there was a backlash, and people started to mention me there, how dare she and this and that. And there was a whole conversation and controversy around it. But yeah, it was a bit harder. I've had cases even in this, even in the book I've mentioned a few. People tell me, oh, it's because you're another woman, or it's because you're Muslim, or this or that. But I keep saying that for me, it could be also yes, because I feel like I'm Muslim first, it sort of affects my values. But I feel what I try to do with my brand is actually bring in my values and make it easy so that I don't have to, when you over-rehearse things, you start to get confused between the fake person and the real person. So, to keep my brand true to myself, it's very important that I sort of like align my values, my personal values with the brand values, and that is what I do. So if you can take me the way I am, good. If you can't, that's fine. But I understand also that the beauty industry is an industry that requires you to sort of like show off and you have to see the products more or less, what you're selling. But hopefully also, I think because I started at the time when it was fairly new, people were more concerned about what I was saying. So I've had cases where people come into the salon and they see me, I can see it on their face, but by the time I start to talk, they're like, oh, okay, she knows what she's saying. So it's actually getting people to get to the point where you give them a chance to talk. But yes, definitely, at the beginning when they see a sample, they're thinking it's all good.
Like I said before, natural hair products are almost too ridiculously expensive. And that's why I stick to my soulmates. So I say this all the time because when I go to the shop and I'm trying to buy a natural product, a natural hair product, I'm like, why is it so expensive? And I think that's what has discouraged a lot of people. Because then with that, like with that and lovely kits, it even comes like a small clip that you can now be using to rub your hair after you relax the hair. So I think what is more natural and adult as well going to bridge that price gap that people have, like people are just feeling the current natural hair products.
Okay, so I think again it comes back to a number of factors, but it might seem like I'm saying it over, but really for me that is actually the baseline. When you build a relationship with your hair, you will not feel as pressure to just jump on the back of and buy products. then you now know what works and what doesn't. Going natural myself, I also was a little bit like something. We buy everything, but I think being expensive comes with a lot of things, which is expensive compared to what? Right? That's one. And then two, what is affordable for me might not be affordable for the next person. So I think what we should focus on should be the value that they get from the business. Another thing I find also is that people don't actually know how to use their brains. You can buy a jar of a 250 jar of everything and it can last you 4 to 5 months. So if you are spending 5,000, 6,000 naira for something that's going to last you 4 to 5 months, I think it's fair. How many of us go for pizza like every Sunday? And how much do we spend? Right? So what I've tried to do with you, just coming back to the second part of the question, is I've tried to source, and I cite many examples of this as well. I've tried to source locally because I'm trying to build a sustainable brand, right? And I find that sourcing locally comes with challenges, believe me, but then you also, if you're a student entrepreneur like myself, you're happy that you're actually impacting the community and also making a profit. So that's one way I think to do that. But also, I am very aware of the fact that for us to actually make a dent in the market, we have to start putting in structures downward, probably start to bear fruit in the next 100 years. It's not going to happen overnight. In the book, I set an example of how we don't even have, no black community owns any of the big five. And the big five are the people that are okay. That's why they can afford to give you extra people in your So we need to put in the structures that's going to bear fruit in the next 100 to 200 years. And for me, that is why I'm having this conversation. I am saying there's a lot of work to be done. We need to roll up our sleeves and do this work, preparing for the next generation to do it, because it's going to take a long time for us to actually do it.
Thank you very much. I also told my mom about this book, and I know that in the beginning part of the book, you talk about your mom and dealing with your natural hair and all that. And there are a lot of mothers that actually go through that, because you try to braid the child's hair and the child is screaming. I've been to so many times. You see some children, they are screaming till they are red. Like you're just pitying them. Like, why put them through this? So, what kind of advice would you give mothers in that position?
Okay, so my advice would be two. The first one is, again, learn to love your hair and lead by actions, not words. If your daughters see how much you love your hair and how much you treat your hair, believe me, doing their hair is going to make them feel like a children. You'll even be excited and excited to do your hair. That's one. And then secondly, find partners. You can't do it alone. I feel like, unfortunately, we put so much pressure on mothers to believe that they have to know everything. And because they don't know everything, then they're not good mothers. Reach out, ask for help, get the support that you need. Like I said, there's so many natural personalities coming up. There's so many natural hair consultants coming up. There's so many people making natural hair products. So reach out, ask for help. It doesn't have to be a nightmare all the time.
Okay. You talked about, there was a part of the book where you talked about how a multi-million-dollar business is being classified, the clientele being above 200,000 customers. To you now in Nigeria, in our economy, what does success mean to you, like a successful business? Because the book, I don't know how many of you have read the book, but the book moves from the realization of the natural hair, redefining what beauty is, to turning that realization into a profit-making business. So for you now, because I know Nigeria is owning a business in Nigeria can be a little bit tricky. So how do you define success?
I think you have to actually have milestones. Give yourself a timeline. When I say timeline, I don't mean normal time that you know, but I mean like a timeline where you feel like you have been able to achieve the milestone even faster than it was or earlier than it was. When you create milestones, it's sort of easier for you to see, okay, if done it in 6 months or I've done it in 8 months. So success can mean different things to different people. Some people is having extra branches. For some people is growing their client base, like I said earlier. For some other people, it's about how much fulfillment they get from coming into the salon and running the business or whatever business they are running, right? So I feel you need to find a way to make it very personal and also find ways to not necessarily reward yourself, but also just enjoy the moment. I for one, will tell you that I'm that kind of person. It takes me, like people have to keep telling me, this is something you should do. I mean, the lunch, I want to see it. She had to push me to do this lunch because I kept saying, it's just, what's it, you know? But she kept saying, no, kept hiding me, like, you need to look at it. And it took a while before I said, okay, yes, now, yeah, I think it's something worth bringing people and talking about. So find ways to actually, just enjoy the moment and tell yourself that I'm not there yet, but I'm doing something worth being proud of myself for. So I think for the next one,
Alright, thank you. And to my last question, throughout the book, you talk about how you had to start the business, how you had to gather money, get your first shop, and all that. You talk about how to maintain your staff as a part of building a business. And we could see, you took us gradually to how you brought human naturals into reality. Now, my question is, how do you sustain a business in Nigeria? Like, how do you keep human naturals moving? Because you also talked about when you took off something, when you gathered your staff and you said, okay, we're not going to be doing this anymore, and there was even an altercation between you and a customer, and she said, oh, it's because you're Muslim and all that. So how do you keep reinventing your business? It doesn't go bankrupt or it doesn't even go out of style? Yeah. How do you keep doing that?
So I think, again, it comes back to you have to be clear about what it is that you want. And when it's not working, don't be stubborn and say, you will have my way. You know? And also, you have to look at the fact that that vision should not stop at the end. When people say, I've been to meetings where people go to be boss of all. For those that have seen me go to meetings, and I learned this, over time. When you allow people to talk first, it sort of gives you a certain leverage, because then you will set the tone of how the meeting should be. So for example, if you're having a meeting with your staff and you already just say what you want to say, even if they had something contrary to say, they will not say it to you. And sometimes it could be also that what they wanted to say was actually what you have helped and not what you cared. So how you can sustain your business is you have to decide if you want to be a business owner or a brand. And if you want to be a brand, then the vision has to be it shouldn't start at the end. It shouldn't be that it's just what you say that will be business. Give people roles and then also give them the opportunity to fail and learn from failure. I find that one of the reasons why a lot of staff, team members don't know what to do is because the madam or the boss is always hovering around, trying for them not to make a mistake. Let them make a mistake. Even if you feel it's at the expense of the business, let them make the mistake and learn from it and then grow from it. I feel like for me it was unfortunate. And listen at the beginning, and then over time, everybody will do it itself. You don't have to be there all the time. If you have to be there all the time, then you have to be there.
Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause for So now we'll be taking questions from the audience. I don't know if anybody has a question.
I have a 4-month-old. She has really full hair. She said 4 months. Yeah. And my mother-in-law said, her hair is so full. My father-in-law says, let's cut this hair, it's too full. My mother-in-law says, no, let's make it into balls. And I'm like, actually, no, man, let's wait till she's like 1 or 3, because I really like Afro. So, I mean, even beyond that, a 3-year-old, why do I have to make her hair? And so the question, she made a statement earlier about, you see babies who are crying so hard, so much, and then you're still saying no, 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 no. So in answering that, I mean, the question to you now is, do you think it's a thing of the mothers now? I want my daughter to look beautiful. Or does it actually have something to do with them grooming from that age? So if you make your hair now, then it will be a part of you to start to make your hair. Or it's a part of the mothers, basically.
Okay, so your mother-in-law and your father-in-law. And I think that's where it starts. There are too many voices and opinions, even before you get to understand. You're even ready to even be a woman or be a girl, right? People have already decided how you should. And I feel like that is how we got into this whole relaxing, because there's a lot of pressure. So my advice would be, try and be the buffer that helps your daughter to keep the pressure, even your own opinion, if you can. Because I had this lady that came in from right? She came for a meeting, but she did an extra day, but she wanted to see me. She called me for a consult. On the phone, she told me about all the complaints she had. I noted it down, as I usually like it. So, as the mother, try and be the buffer. I know how it is. There's a way you want things to be, but the pressure is actually what is making it seem that. At that age, trust me, even the body, the development of the body has nothing to do with hair. The body is just trying to create the major organs that the child needs to go. So, let's leave hair matter for a bit. I love the fact that you're coming from the point of not trying to star her, because I find that that's one thing that a lot of women don't realize. I've been into a bit of child psychology for the past 6 months, and I stumbled upon something very revealing, which is most of what we know as adults, unless it's an intervention at some point, we actually develop those habits or opinions from 0 to 7 years. So can you imagine a full-grown adult is using something that they knew from 0 to 7 years? So yes, it's possible to have this carryover. What can be done for struggling mothers? I feel like we need to reduce the pressure, right? And also lead by actions. So my question would be, does she see you detangling your own hair?
Well, now she's had one of my interest in my own hair. She knows
Exactly. So if you can create a play time where she's actually playing with your hair, showing her how you are detangling your hair, and then over time she can learn to do it by herself. Let her make some things, let her learn with time. If you want to cut the hair, I'm all for having options and letting people to actually do what they do. Don't feel so boxed in. I mean, even with natural hair, don't feel so boxed in to do it one way. So if you want to, cut the hair, feel free to do that. And then as the hair is growing out, let her learn to do some things by herself. Especially the parts where you feel it's too stressful. So let it be a one-day time. Let it be something. Don't make it too much of an occasion. Let it just be something you're doing while you're watching TV or cartoons or whatever. And then she's just seeing you doing your hair and she's also doing hers. I feel that's the best way to approach it.
Thank you. I will take one last question. Is that last? How many people do we have questions? 1, 2, 3. Okay, we'll take last three
Can we take all
questions.
of them and then? Can we take all of them and then?
Yes, okay, we'll take all of them and then we'll move to the panel discussion. So, yes, your name, please.
My name is Yasmin Omar. Actually, I wanted to ask a question, but before that, if it's okay, can I share a story about?
Yes, yeah, sure.
So when I had natural hair my entire life, I never relaxed it. But when I was in secondary school, peer pressure and everything, I was really desperate to relax my hair. Just the thought of the long, flowy, whatever, just do like this and she follow me. Yeah, so I really wanted that. And my best friend actually had her hair relaxed from a young age as well, so I was like, okay, even my best friend does it, so I want to do it. So I approached my mom, I think as I was entering JS1, and at that time I was like maybe 10 years. I was like, Mama, I want to relax my hair. So she didn't actually say no, she just said, okay, wait until you are in SS1. So I said, okay, but I can't wait that long. She said, I want you to be more mature, so wait until you're SS1. Think of it as a milestone for you. I was like, okay. SS1 came. Mama, I'm in SS1, I want to relax my hair. Okay. wait until you're in SS3. I was like, but I'm in SS1, yes, but now you are almost finishing secondary school. So this will be a matter of like you are an adult, so you can wait that long. I said, okay, fine. Mama, I'm in SS3, wait until you're in university.
Establishing myself, or establishing human naturals as a hair care brand. I think it was being able to communicate what I knew within me to my team members. I think that was the most difficult part. So I had to sort of like keep learning different ways to communicate. There was a time I was reading, Art of Communication and this and that, reading from different types of leaders, and just to know what is the right way to shape your team so that they can carry on, without you, right? In the book I've spoken about this, and even on social media, I don't know how to start. The best I can do is probably twist, and even that twist is not that. So for a hair salon, that is actually the core of it. Styling is the core. So me telling them what to do or how to, give people what they want is difficult because I don't even know it myself, right? So I have to find a way to communicate in such a way that they will understand it and also do it without saying we're doing what Madame says, right? It has to feel like it's their own. And I've had people, clients even sometimes, attack some of my managers and even my staff and say, you're acting like it's your business. What is it? What is your business? Do you understand? But that was what I wanted to create. I wanted to create a team that felt that it was their own, just as it was my own. So creating that ownership for me was the most difficult part. I still struggle with it. I won't tell you that I've scaled it, but at least I've been able to take it to a point where, without me being there all the time, they still know what to do and they have a sense of direction. So I think that was really the most difficult part for me, and quite frustrating too. Trust me. So with your own question, Tofika, I think I get what you're trying to say, but I think for me, by the time I made peace with the fact that this hair thing is going to be my thing for a very long period of time, like probably till the end of my life, I was okay with the fact that the answer was never going to change. I think that was it for me. Once I was just at peace with myself and I said, yes, this hair thing is going to be my thing, it's going to follow me all the way to. Doesn't matter what else I do, hair is going to be at the center of it. Once I just made that peace, I didn't care if the answer stayed the same. So of course at the beginning when I was still struggling, but I'm a biochemist, I want to do biotechnology, this and that. It used to feel, when people say, you're still doing hair, it used to feel a certain way. But by the time I made that peace, I was like, yeah, it's hair. The hair girl. So, so coming to you, Rahama, so when I said buffer, what I was trying to say was for you to create a sort of safe space for your daughters. I don't mean like you buffer yourself and then buffer your daughter. I mean like for yourself. It's the same way you would treat bullying, for example. Right? I want to believe most mothers have had that bullying conversation with their kids. Sorry. So as long as you have that bullying conversation where you say people would behave this way, but you have to behave this way because this is who you are. Right? So as long as you're able to do that for your daughters, then I feel like you have sort of a balance. And also the buffer I'm talking about is not something that is set in stone. It changes with time. And you have to give yourself the permission to accept that it has changed and not feel so pressured to continue a certain way. So that's why I keep saying it's okay to change your mind. And don't feel like because you've changed your mind then you sort of like betray what it is that you decided to do. So be flexible. That's really how you do it.
Thank you very, very much. Please, a round of applause for. We want to welcome Eugenia Abu for being here. Thank you so much. You're actually part of our panel, so I don't know if you can say. Oh, okay. All right. So we're moving to the panel discussion. I don't know if you can help us move the mic. Mikey, I will learn the name. It's Marsha, Mikey, then have Owen Ruby, and to my right I have Richard Ali, and I have Sumaya Jahi. So welcome and thank you for joining us today. So before we go further, we'll give mic to Abu to say a few words to Farida and about book. Thank you for joining us. Please, a round of applause.
I wouldn't need the microphone.
Okay.
I like to love myself, and I think Farida understands that because she's talking about redefining beauty. She's involved in all kinds of natural things. And I think that an individual who wants to stay young, wants to be ahead of her game, and wants to look restful all the time, must understand that beauty comes from within, and that whatever you do in life, it doesn't matter how much makeup you wear, that it's not going to change the way you feel. It's not going to change your insides. And so usually all the natural things that we've been told to go back to are really what made our grandmothers look 40 when they were 70. Mrs. Mutala Mohammed is an adopted mom of mine, and she's a very special lady. At 78, she still goes to her garden and pushes the barrel. She's wearing boots, and when you see her, she looks 52. And I know that she really just dwells in natural things, generally. And she says to me, be at peace with yourself and with everyone. So beyond your hair and your face and your look, be at peace with yourself and with everyone. And take care of yourself. I like spa moments. I like massages. My job is very stressful. So I always believe that you should give yourself every 6-7 weeks massage. Before I fly a long distance, I have massage. When I come back from a long distance, I have massage. In between flights at airports, I save the money. I have a massage. So when you fly, you really don't remember that you're flying. I think no woman should ever go anywhere with their hair looking like they have cockroaches in it. Today we have turbans that look nice. We're back to natural hair. Farida is really the most exceptional person I know in that direction, making her own product, redefining beauty, and understanding who you are through the way you look. I want to congratulate her today for what she has done, and we're going to be donating 10 books to a secondary school of her choice.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. I won't be here for very long. You just see me spirit away. But I have to be here. That's why I can't be on the panel, unfortunately. I have to run. All right, so
we appreciate it.
I apologize to the panel for my interruption.
What does beauty mean to you as a person? When you see somebody, what makes you think, oh, this person is beautiful? Yeah, so starting with you.
Growing up, my parents always focused more on, they instilled this habit of, focus on a person's character, focus on a person's character. So for me personally, it's about a person's character. That shines through before the physical.
All right.
Okay, so for me, while yes, I understand the character bit that you mentioned, I still think there is something about, like aura, right? There should be a certain air to you that's just pleasant. Basically, beauty is aesthetics. Have you seen an abstract painting that is literally nothing? I mean, it's not anything. You can't say, oh, that's a painting of a horse. No, it's just sort of like someone's just flashing color, right? But then there's just something to it. Exactly. That's the same attitude that I think determines beauty for people. So we have different, and by the way, beauty standards, I don't believe in beauty standards. The reason is because it is so subjective. If you travel to a certain continent, you'll probably all be just ugly. And then, because their standards are different, so there's no one general standard. So I think, but then everybody can sense pleasantness, everybody can sense confidence. Whether you're in Africa, whether you're in Europe, there's just something about the aura, something that's pleasant about your person. And not necessarily, maybe just about your personality. Sometimes people don't have enough time to know what your personality is. They're just people that you just, maybe walk past and then they just have this smile and they just give you a warmth just seeing them smile and they walk past. You never got to know if the person was rude or if the person has anger issues or, whatever. But I feel like that's what it is. So it's all about the uniqueness, just being the most authentic version of yourself. Because if you're one makes for fine art, I always use the art instance because it's very relatable. What makes for really fine art is when it's just a masterpiece, just the one. It's not like a copy. It's not something you can get some other place, blah blah blah. Okay. So when you're that one one Ruby, this is me, and then there is no chance anyone can be me. I'm not trying to be somebody else. Nobody is trying to be me. Even if you tried, you couldn't possibly be me. And then you're very comfortable in your authenticity, right? So for me, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
So I'd say beauty as the inexplicable. In the aesthetic sense, for me, it comes down to proportions. All right, it comes down to proportions. What are the right proportions? The scientists, they believe there's a perfect ratio, which most human beings, most human societies consider to be beautiful ratio, which is the Fibonacci ratio, and it shows up in nature all over the place. So I think that you can approximate beauty as it comes towards that thing which we see repeated in nature all the while. So that's beauty as aesthetics. The size of the face in proportion to the rest of the body, and so on and so forth. So you can approach beauty that way. Now when it comes to the question of art, we know what the proportions are. So in order to approach, for example, abstract art, then we would say, this subversion of proportion, why is it being done? What statement is being made by this subversive activity? And that's how we get a clue into art. So even though something is abstract, it's still quite possible to consider it beautiful because of the message it's trying to pass. Which leads to the second idea of beauty, which is beauty as the inexplicable. Which is closer to this idea that beauty is an ideal that we are all struggling towards, but which we will never meet. Because if beauty is inexplicable, if everybody is unique, and each of us sitting here is the product of 20, 30 centuries of marriages and all sorts of mixtures in order to get here, it means we're unique in the ways we are. So there cannot be an objective, no matter what the Fibonacci sequence is or what is thought to be beautiful, we will never be able to have that objective standard, but we are only trying to approximate it. Then in terms of the inexplicable, there's also that question of how we are made by our experiences. The food we eat, the upbringing, the social class, the mistakes that happen, the traumas that we have suffered, all these converge on each person. And the way you have interpreted it, because it's not always just about that. It's about the way you've interpreted it and how people feel about how you have interpreted your experiences. So it's possible to meet somebody who does not need beauty as an aesthetic idea, as an aesthetic context, as it were, but because of the way they have interpreted their experiences, you are able to feel a sense of the beautiful in them. And that's why it becomes beauty as the inexplicable. You can't quite put your finger to it, but you're like, oh my God, this person has this inexplicable thing. And I like to think that also is beauty.
Before we come to you, sorry, is Shafar Zarma around? Oh, okay. Please put your hands up for those of that chair. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, just there. Thank you very much. All right.
Hello everyone. Shiva just really short. Shiva. Yeah. And she's the one of my over centuries. I saw a picture of a Turkish picture of this fat lady. She had beard, like the hair all over her body.
Yeah.
And I think it's a 16th century picture. And for them, that is the definition of beauty. So today we have different definition of beauty. Some people tell you they want slim girls, some fat, but obviously we can't. It's I don't know. It's subjective. It's subjective. So beauty, I can't define beauty for all of us here. Beauty is just beauty. Beauty is something that captivates you. It's something that stops your blood. Like that picture, that painting. It's actually a beautiful painting. So you come here and ask me what beauty is to me. That beauty to me is character. It's the way you carry yourself. It's who you are. And I believe every one of us is beautiful in the way you are, in a special way. So you don't just get to think, oh, beautiful, but that person is ugly. I don't see ugly actually. I believe everybody is beautiful in a special way. So that's beautiful.
The question is, what is beauty?
Yeah, what is beauty? I'm just going to add a little from what you just said. To me, actually, beauty is not superficial. If you think someone is beautiful because of how they look, how you think you define pretty or beautiful or handsome, I think there is something missing or something incomplete or something that it's ambiguous related to that semantic or pragmatic point of view. To me, honestly, beauty is not superficial. There are people I love. There are people that I like. There are people that I call, like, I see them as the most beautiful people on earth. And when you see them, they might not fall into your category of beautiful. You might say, oh my God, you look weird. What did she see in this person? What did she see in that woman? But to me, beauty is within. How beautiful your heart is. How compassionate you are. How kind you are. Okay? How your heart is full of humanity, of humility, of compassion, of forgiveness, of relentlessness. That's beautiful to me. I don't care how you look. You might have a double chin, a crooked nose, my Angela says. But beautiful, to me, is not superficial. It's what I see. So that's beautiful.
So we just have one more question for the panelists, and I'll be giving everybody 2 minutes to speak on this question so that we can move quickly. But before we do that, I don't know how many of us, if you have network on your phone and you Google beautiful women, and I found this by watching a show. There's this show I watch, Atlanta, and there's this episode where they got to, and the girl was saying, the black girl was saying, oh, Google beautiful women and tell me how many black women you see. And just like that, I just picked up my phone and I Googled beautiful women, and you don't see black women. Like, you will go page, I don't know if you can see my phone, like, you will go pages, and you can't see one black woman. And the one black woman or Indian woman you see has a very straight hair. Yeah, it's light skin, hair. So you see, there is that problem that exists in society today. I always try to tell people that racism is different from colorism. Like, colorism is a different problem on its own. So I don't know, what will you say we can do to redefine beauty in our own way? How can we intercept that analogy that already exists, or that idea that already exists, that if you're light skinned then you're beautiful, if you're dark skinned then you're not so beautiful, and all that? Because even in Northern Africa, this is one of their biggest problems. Colorism is one of their biggest problems in Northern Africa. So how do you think we can redefine beauty in our own way? If you can tell us how you also redefine beauty in your way, that possible.
Well,
So we have 2 minutes here.
I think one of the problems we face is, and we've left being black, and then we're stuck in the middle. So there's this cognitive dissonance. You're not where you're trying to get to, and you've left where you
can't go back.
Can't go back. So I think we need to go back to the root. And one thing I always tell people when I talk about beauty is, if you were to study paintings or photographs, pre-colonial photographs of women, especially in Igbo culture, you would see them with elaborate hairstyles, tattoos on their bodies, gap tooth. Like, those were
Kanuri women.
Kanuri women. That was the pinnacle of beauty. But somehow we sort of lost that context, and we're trying to adopt, straight hair, light skin, tattoos, even though, yeah, sure, but, we deviated from that culture. So I think one thing we need to do is we need to go back to the root, appreciate our own culture, understand that beauty isn't what society tells you, but you yourself, you sort of have to define what beauty is for you. It's sort of like the mistake we made with success. If you ask 20 people what success means, about 18 of them will give you an identical answer. When the reality is, success means different things to different people. Personally, for me, success is if I can get the kids to sleep by 9. So I think we need to really go back to the roots and understand that there's beauty in our culture, there's beauty in our tradition. Black is beautiful.
Yeah.
So,
thank you. From Cross River State, yes. And in our culture, the beauty standard way back was like a plump, plus-sized woman. In fact, your parents could not give you out for marriage if you were skinny. There was an entire ceremony. They would put you in that room and ensure you put on weight before you, like, it was like giving a skinny calf to the in-laws. It felt like it was derogatory, so you had to, look like, oh, you were well fed, well taken care of, and then you were given in marriage. And how many years down the line, here we are, and skinny is the, oh yeah, oh look at her, she's so. And I remember my grandma is still alive, so sometimes when I go and then we're together and we're talking, and then one of those times, I've forgotten what it was, she wanted me to eat, and then I was like, no, mommy, I'm watching my weight. She could not understand it. She's like, what has happened? What weight are you watching? Oh, so you want to, like, for her, she don't understand, because she's always so proud. Oh, she sees me, she wants to show up, like, look at her. So, she, like, you want to lose it and start looking. And I'm like, no, it's no longer like that, so now we have to, but it just tells you how fleeting these standards are. I mean, the truth is, the average African man would tilt towards the more, maybe not excessively, but the more curvy. That's what the culture, if you go way back. And then these people started to internalize, they started to force feed us all of these standards. Told you like a certain hair type was beautiful, a certain skin tone. In my experience, by the way, that skin thing is an entire, like, we need to reconvene entirely for it. It's an entire argument, because I cannot take it. It is terrible right now in this country. The bleaching spate is... What? Beautiful skin is not a color. I don't know how to say it is not a color. Because I have a client, she is like the shade of midnight, and this is not me exaggerating, and she's the most stunning. Like, if she walks in, I see people just stop whatever it is and they're staring at her, and her skin radiates. It's like seeing crude oil. I don't know how to explain it. And it is so beautiful. It's just unreal. And I've seen light-skinned people who are naturally light-skinned, and then it's almost like they're radiating the rays of the sun. Have you seen those kind of... By the way, the people who bleach, you can almost always tell. It looks like a plain canvas with no painting on it. I'm sorry. Not really sorry. But yeah, you see the difference, because pigmentation, it's necessary. That's why we're supposed to have, even for people who are light, they still have pigmentation. The fact that they're light skin doesn't mean they don't have it. Yeah, but what you do when you bleach, because your original pigmentation is dark, and then you take it off, so you're basically a blank canvas, no color. And how anyone can think that is beautiful is beyond me. That's beyond the risk factors, beyond everything you're doing to yourself. So I feel like we have to be conscious, know what to block out, right? Because it is everywhere in the media. Do you know, I observed something, so I also do natural hair and all of that. And I observed that we internalize straight hair, even without realizing it. Think back to all your special moments when you had to have your hair straightened. So basically, it was a subtle way of telling you when it's a special moment, your hair has to be straight, right? So if you had a graduation ceremony, either they used the hot combs or they used relaxers or whatever, but then your hair had to be straightened. Or even if my mom was natural for the longest time, I see her wedding pictures and she has like hair all the way down here, and it was relaxed. And then I'm like, oh, your hair was that long? And she said, no, she had natural hair, was very long and lush. And when she was getting married, they're like, oh no, you can't get married with that. And that's why she had to put the relaxer to get married to my dad. So when you start to associate straight hair with your special moments, you begin to internalize that, okay, straight hair is the final, yeah, we can carry the kings for every other day, and then when it's a special moment, my hair has to be straightened. So I think we have to start blocking out all of that stuff, start being deliberate about what we consider to be our own beauty standards. Start teaching children. Some adults are damaged beyond repair. That's the harsh reality. There's nothing you will tell them. They are gone. Just let it go. But for children, you still have a chance. that little dark-skinned girl that you see, make it your duty to tell her just amazing her skin is. That might just be all it would take for her never to bleach her skin in the future. And you know, be deliberate about telling people just how beautiful and unique they are, and then also be confident in yourself to not be swayed by, if you're going to do, you know, I mean, I'm not all for, oh, never straighten your hair. Sometimes I want to do like a length check, or I want to have a trim. I'm like, oh yeah, let me straighten it out. So because sometimes when it's straight, you can see the splits a little more clearly. So I'm like, oh yeah, let me straighten it out so I can get a good trim. I'm not saying box yourself in, but if you're going to do it for the right reasons. Do it because, oh yeah, I want to do this, or I just want to look this way right now. I want to switch up my look. Not because you feel this is what will be acceptable to every other person seeing me. So, yeah.
Thank you.
What she said, it's about internalizing, right? We tend to internalize certain beauty standards, the long hair, light skin, pigmentation, whatever it is, and we tend to internalize this because of the nature of the world we live in, which is a very globalized world, which is dominated by media conglomerates that are all based in the West, which has a good dose of Hollywood, which tends to push a certain standard of this is what is considered beautiful. Now, the problem is that traditionally, states and societies have always played a very central role in socializing young people. So states have always tried to lead the young people, pedagogy as it were, and through an education system on what its values are, what it considers to be beautiful. Now, over the last 50, 60 years, the grip of states on the socialization process has become difficult because now you have satellite TV, you've got 247 news broadcasts, you've got E, and now you've got the Z World thing and all of that. So states have lost that. Now, I like the example that Sumaya gave of the Ottoman princess, you know, and that was their standard of beauty. And the funny thing is, that particular princess, men killed themselves because she rejected them. And that was because the society, the Turkish society, was able to inculcate what they felt was beautiful in the normative sense in its young people, up to the extent that a 20-something-year-old man would kill himself because somebody we consider fat rejected his advances. All right? So what needs to happen is, since the state has lost its control of the socialization process, then I think it is the next most concerned demographic is women. Women like you have daughters. You're the ones who are so terribly concerned about this. It is important that women particularly, and men, okay, I've lost my hair, so I'm not really, the natural will not help me in any way. But you know what the issues of hair is or are. I think it's important for you to step in and try to play the role that the state is supposed to play in bringing up people to see that this Western-centric, white-centric idea of beauty is one of a possible 100,000 variants of it, and that each person must approach this beauty based on themselves, really. So I think, ladies, you've got your work cut out for you, but if you need a protest march, I'll carry the flag.
Thank you. Okay. I think with reorientation, really, it's a problem. You watch Nollywood movies, Hollywood movies, and you see misrepresentations of us. They just adopting the white man concept of beauty. Like he said, Z-Wall, it's everywhere. We keep watching them, and my brother will say, I'm going to was from Consuela. I just flick your hair and it's behind that. And we all want that. We all want that straight hair so that we feel, oh, I'm fine. I want to flick my hair. And then I'm able to flick my hair. I'm turning natural. So I am natural. And so we need reorientation. We need to see representation. He was talking about culture. And I live with my grandmother in Kaduna, and she's a beautiful woman. She has tattoos all over her body, all over, everywhere. So she told me that was the standard of beauty as that. She said she hid from her father. She traveled somewhere to have that tattoo done. She even carved her teeth. So that was the beauty. You have to be beautiful. I said, how did you withstand the pain? She said, well, I want to be beautiful, so I have to withstand the pain. It was with knives and razor blades. I think that tattoo is there and it's still present and she's very old, but that is beauty to them then, and that is why she still have it. So why don't we just hold on to our culture? Why don't we appreciate what we used to have? Why do we want to be white women? Why do we want to be white men? My God, I actually don't want to be white. I don't see myself like that's so bland. But we have plenty cultures. We have beautiful cultures. Like she said, from Cross River. Like I admire them. Like they take care of their skin. They polish their skin. They eat good food and. We have it. We have it all. I don't know why we don't appreciate what we have, why we are out there sourcing to be white women and white men when we are Africans and we have myriads of cultures and beautiful colors and beautiful shades. We need to appreciate ourselves more. And maybe reorientation. Maybe it should start with movie. Maybe it should start with Kanu theater, and the government should invest in that. If you're talking about reorientation, then it is the movies we watch. That is what influences what we do. This morning I saw a picture, I don't know if anyone has set it up on Twitter about a girl, a black girl. She's like chocolate.
And somebody was using it to joke.
Yeah, somebody was insulting her color. And when I looked at the girl, I just saw beauty, like she's so beautiful. And then somebody was insulting. Yes. She was so beautiful. When somebody was insulting her color already, she's still a baby, and somebody has already have an opinion about her color. What is wrong with our society? My God, what is wrong with us? We really need to do better, and I think we can do better. It all starts with us, all of us. Maybe if we see somebody beautiful, maybe somebody black, and then try to encourage the person in a little way.
Thank you.
I was kind of lost. Okay, let me add a little. Just as they said, we need to start internalizing the perspectives. Just as they said, you need to redefine beautiful. You need to redefine it. What is beautiful to you? You need to shuffle your priorities. What is beautiful to you? Am I trying to change how I look? Am I trying to change my skin color? Am I trying to change my hair texture because this person likes it that way? But is it because I personally want my hair that way? I just transitioned my hair to virgin hair because I had a relaxed hair. The reason why I transitioned it, it's not because a lot of people like the flat hair or someone else, maybe a lover or someone, appreciates my flat hair, flat straightened hair. No. I did it because I just wanted my hair to be longer. And I realized my hair wasn't growing any longer. It was just cutting and cutting and cutting. So I said, okay, let me just transition. And when I did, my hair, it's becoming more longer now. And if someone were to say, Shifa, I think I'd like your hair more relaxed, I would change my texture for nobody. This is how I want my hair. So sometimes before we do some things, you need to ask yourself, am I doing it for me or am I doing it for someone else? For acceptance? No. You have to accept yourself first. You have to love yourself first. You have to appreciate yourself first. Because if you don't do that, a lot of people will have different opinions of how you should look, of how you should be, how your weight should be, how your skin color should be, how your hair should be kept. You need to have a constant answer to yourself. This is who I want to be. This is how I want to look. If you want to lose weight because of yourself, because of the health conditions and things like that, because you're scared of obesity and other things, lose weight. Not because someone thinks you're fat. Not because someone thinks, nah, you're not curvy, you're not attractive. No, don't change for nobody. Change for yourself. So I think that is just a little note from this discussion.
Thank you very much. I think that's one of the things you get from this book as well. Like the very first chapter, you see how Farida comes to the realization of what beauty is. And I think everybody needs to go through that phase in life. You need to get to that point where you say, okay, I'm doing this for me, not because everybody thinks this is what it should be, or everybody thinks this is how I should look. So I just want to say thank you to our 5 panelists. We really appreciate you. Thank you for your input, and I'm sure we've all gotten 1 or 2 things from you guys. So thank you very much for being part of this. Please a round of applause for them. We'll be moving on to the final part of. Okay, yes. So we have our story, by Manto, and after that we'll move to the final part of. So you can.
Very big congratulations to Farida. It takes a whole lot to put something together like this. And I wish you the very best. But hopefully this is the first time of so many to come. And so just writing, I had this story to tell. Actually, let me introduce myself. I'm Domansu, and I'm a storyteller. I had a few stories to share, but because of time, I will just stick to what